It is Tuesday, fresh out the shower. As you see, your boy got a clean shave, nice taper, first reflection walk of 2026. And I kind of wanted to make it a little special today because I haven't done this in a long time. I brought my furry partner in crime, and we're going to do a little walk, okay? Let's go. I have not walked my dog in a long time. It's been a while. So I need to get her outside. As you see, she has taken off on me. She's been stuck in that backyard for months. Now, I haven't been walking her because the weather has been up and down and, time. My schedule's been pretty busy, taking care of my son full time. I've been working additional hours. So we're getting back to it. But anyways, the thing that I want to talk about this week is this. Have you guys noticed that even though it's 2026, you got people doing the same old shit? Same old shit. Meaning they're worried about the wrong things. They're not focused. They're still making excuses on why they're not where they should be in life. They're continuing to blame others, the government, Trump, other people's instead of looking in the mirror and realizing that they are the reason why they suck, why their life is not going in a direction that it should be in, why they cannot find a good man or a good woman to settle down with. Accountability is still a foreign language in 2026. Real talk. It really is. And it's sad because every year we should be elevating ourselves. We should be learning from our past mistakes and our bad decisions, but it just seems like that's not happening. But on the flip side of it, you got people who are quiet because they are focused on elevating themselves. They're disciplined. They're taking care of business. They don't have time to sit here and be bickering with people on social media about opinions because they're like assholes, right? Everybody has one. And they're continuing to win and keeping up that momentum that they built from last year. Well, it's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Oh, yes. I'm not concerned about other people's opinions and what other people think. Case in point, right? A lot of people have a lot of things to say about me. A lot of people like to scrutinize, critique, say whatever they want, right? Because of the way that I choose to live my life, my thought process. And you want to know what? I don't give a shit. Because that's the mentality that I have always had since I was young. And unless you adopt that mentality, guys, you're going to allow other people to dictate your actions, your thoughts. You are going to be susceptible to being manipulated in a negative way. And I don't think that you should do that, okay? Everybody has something to say. I understand that, right? Because everybody has an opinion. But if you are focused on growing, if you are focused on elevating your life, if you're disciplined and you're just a productive human being, you don't have time to sit there and listen to other people's opinions about what they think about you or what they think regardless of whatever it is. You got to focus on you. And that's the thing in 2026, guys. If you ain't doing that now, then you cannot expect for you to have a phenomenal year. 2026 should be all about focusing on yourself and not others. Because when you focus on yourself, you're able to position yourself in a way to where life actually will get easy for you. Things will work out in your favor. And you won't have to subject yourself to dealing with people who do not have your best interests at heart. You won't put yourself in compromising situations, and you'll actually have that fulfillment that everybody wants to seek in life, right? Which is peace, happiness, prosperity, and just growth. So guys, be mindful of making sure you do not fall for the trap of listening to other people's opinions and allowing it to dictate what your actions are. All right. Tuesday content starts right now. Good day, good people. It's AT Malone, the first of my name because the second is already here. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos from your boy. Now, this is the first Tuesday content for 2026, and I'm extremely excited about this. And the reason why I'm excited about this is because I am keeping up the same momentum that I had in 2025, and I'm carrying it over in 2026. And I suggest we all do that, okay? The foot must stay on the gas no matter what. See, on top of learning from our mistakes last year, right? You also need to carry on the same successes, the same things that made you successful, the good habits that you had that got you successful, and you continue that. You keep up that momentum. I was talking to my son before we prayed last night about this same exact thing because school started back today, so he's back in school. And yes, he made all A's for the first semester last year, right? Well, cycle 2, because the first semester he had an 88, all right? So he had a great, amazing first semester. He just won his first championship over the weekend. But I told him this. I said, son, that is in the past. That is over with. You cannot ride on that wave continually. It starts over. It's a brand new semester. The basketball season is continuing to go on. So you got to win that championship as well. So I understand that whenever we are victorious and we want to, have that high, we want that to last forever. But in reality, it doesn't. But in order for you to relive that, you gotta keep working. You gotta continue to push. You gotta continue to, train, educate yourself, study. That way you can continue to put yourself in that same situation. Just because you made it to the top of the mountain does not mean that there's not another mountain to climb. And you gotta instill that into your children as well. Yes, they might be victorious at something, but there's other victories that must be claimed too. So never forget that. My mom's calling me. Of course she's calling me while I'm recording, right? It is what it is. So we're going to continue. We do this live, man. This is like the third or fourth time that I've recorded this because I've made mistakes and I'm a perfectionist. And that's what we going to do. But like I was saying, guys, always make sure that when you are victorious, you continue to put yourself in that position. You continue to do the things that made you victorious, that made you win, that made you a champion, that made you be able to get a promotion at your job. You never stop grinding. You never stop working. And if that does not push you, just think about this. There is somebody out there that wants to take your spot, that wants to be in the position that you are currently in, that if they have the opportunity, they will take every single thing away from you that you busted your ass to earn. So you never allow your competition, your ops, your adversaries to get that close to you to even think that they could even take your position, your spot. As long as you evolve and you continue to get better and better over time, and you continue to work harder than anybody else that's in your space, you will stay on top. You will be that champion. You'll be that leader. You'll be that example that you need to be. All right. Well, that was my first, not really my first, but my first for you guys. Freestyle thoughts, but you know why we are here. We are here for the richest man who ever lived, King Solomon's secrets to success, wealth, and happiness. And we are on chapter 9. Yes, we are. We're on chapter 9, titled winning and resolving every conflict. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. And that is Proverbs 18:19. So, conflict and adversity are an unavoidable part of life. Like it or not, conflict and adversity are as much a part of life as eating, drinking, and breathing. But to Solomon, conflict and adversity serve very important purposes in our lives that are rarely accomplished by any other means. If dealt with correctly, they will produce positive outcomes and strengthen your relationships at work or at home. The opposite of this will produce negative outcomes and harm your potential for happiness and success. Trying to weather adversity or conflict without Solomon's strategies can be done, but it will come with a great deal of stress and danger, and the failure rate is much higher than success. Now, who wins and who loses in adversity and conflict? Now, this book tells a story about Henry Ford. Now, we know who Henry Ford is. He is the founder of the Ford Motor Company. And when he worked for Detroit Automotive, he fought with the directors over the production of expensive cars for the affluent, or producing inexpensive cars for the non-existent market of the masses. He lost the fight and eventually got fired. He went on to create the Ford Motor Company, becoming one of the richest men in the world. His investors saw returns of more than $3,000 for every dollar they invested. That is a crazy return, man. Instant millionaire. While Detroit Automotive Company failed, they went out of business. So, who won that conflict? Of course, it was Henry Ford. Now, this story took place in 1900, okay? Over 100 years ago. And this story is still relevant in 2026. Sometimes you will find yourself either at work, talking to the upper echelons of the company about certain ideas that you have, and they will shoot that shit the hell down. Even though deep down you know that you are right, but you might be outnumbered, you might get vetoed. It might be people in your family or your social group that might shoot down your visions. But that just comes with the territory. Now, what you cannot do is you cannot allow the word no, or sentences like, oh, that's a dumb idea. Oh, that's stupid. That will never work, when you know that it will. And just because other people don't see your vision does not mean that you allow that to deter you from continuing to move forward. There's been so many times, guys, that I've had certain ideas or certain things that I wanted to do in my life, and I had family members, I had friends, so-called friends, tell me that that is a bad idea. Recently, I had somebody tell me that the way that I strategize my content is a bad idea, that it won't work. And, oh, your views are not real views, right? And the normal person would look at that from a standpoint of, you know what, that's just going to piss me off or get mad, or, you know, you're going to allow that opinion to affect you. But you know what I did? I took it with a grain of salt, and I said, you know what? Just because this person doesn't see the vision that I have does not mean that I'm going to allow that person's opinion to affect me. And I continue to do what I'm doing. And you know what happens? Subscribers went up. Views continue to go up. And just because people think that they know more than you do, you got to understand something. Life is a marathon, not a sprint, okay? You continue to run that marathon until you cross that finish line. And when you cross that finish line and you reach that finish line before they do, you get to look back and you get to laugh at them, because they're the ones that did not believe in your dreams, your aspirations, your ideas. Those people eventually become your competition, they become your ops, they become your adversaries. It's a either you with me or against me mentality that I'm leading into 2026 with. with. You either gonna support me or I'm gonna run your ass the fuck over. That's just what it is right now. You might say that I might be going into my villain arc. Maybe so, but it doesn't matter. I don't want to hear what nobody got to say that's not going to help me get to the next level in life. And I can see through people's words, okay? I'm not stupid. I understand human nature, the human anatomy. I understand people's thought processes. I understand how to read in between the lines. So just because you might be saying, oh, I'm doing this out of love, that's some cap shit. Do not allow people to mask what their ulterior motives are when they say, oh, I'm doing this out of love. Okay, it's kind of like, when people, say like, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. That's some cap, that's some bullshit. All right. So over time, the real winners of a conflict are not necessarily those who seem to be the initial winners. Similarly, adversity may ultimately spawn not just challenges, but opportunities. Solomon teaches us when we see the true purpose of conflict and adversity, we can seize the opportunity they present and can ultimately be the winner. Now, right now, the popular thing to talk about is this whole U.S. Venezuela thing and the Trump administration getting Maduro the hell up out of there, okay? His dictatorial stint is out of here. He is done. And he shouldn't have tested Trump, okay? Because throughout history, anybody who has tried Trump has held a L. Don't fucking do it, okay? Trump is the guy that you just don't want to mess with. This is why he gets so much respect in other countries. Yes, in the US, I ain't even gonna say the majority of people don't like him because we voted him in. So the majority of people do like Trump. But it's just the loudest Democrat liberal people who always have something to say, even if Trump is doing something good to help people like Venezuela, taking a evil dictator who allowed criminals to flood the US, let them out of jail, the crazy, insane lunatic people, and just let them come to the US. Biden also allowed that too, but they don't want to talk about that. So he got rid of Maduro, and now they're saying, well, Trump only did it because of oil. Well, no, he did it because he needed to liberate the people. Also, you don't remember the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize was pleading with Trump to help them? Oh, y'all don't want to talk about that either, but okay, fine. Let's just go for the oil thing, right? Well, politics and business intertwine with one another. So you can kill two birds with one stone. You can help liberate a country from its dictator, but you also can do business and see the incentives in actually helping liberate these people. Yes, we've invested in, their oil for a very long time, guys. So it's not like we just said, you know what, we just want all of their resources. No, we've been doing business helping the infrastructure of oil in Venezuela. So I don't see the problem with it. It's going to boost both of our economies. It's going to provide more job growth for the United States and for Venezuela. So what's the issue? But people got Trump derangement syndrome, and it is what it is. Either way, I'm glad that Trump did what he did. We have millions of Venezuelans celebrating what Trump did, and Trump was the only one who had the balls to actually go over there and go do something about it. All right. Now, there are two kinds of conflict and adversity. The first is conflict and adversity we create or contribute to. The second is conflict and adversity that is created by others or circumstances outside our control or influence. Now, we're going to talk about the first one, which is conflict or adversity that is beyond our control. In Proverbs 17:3, Solomon writes, "The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests hearts." According to Solomon, there is an extraordinary purpose to the type of adversity or conflict that comes into our lives that is beyond our control. Now, this to me is an expectation for being a man or a boy going into manhood. We need to experience conflict, adversity. We need to experience obstacles, losing, winning, failure. All of these things because it builds our character. Guys who have never gone through anything, they're the ones who fold under pressure like that when times get hard. They're not resourceful. They don't know how to deal with conflict resolution. They are the emotional pussies that women complain about. You know what women like? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And I'm speaking from experience because I had an issue that happened to me over the weekend that I'm still dealing with. They want to see how you deal with situations that come about that whether you caused on your own or you didn't. They want to see what type of resolution that you come up with. Okay, how do you dig yourself out of a particular hole? Okay, what did you do in order to fix the problem that maybe somebody else created or maybe you created? For an example, guys, I call myself changing out my spout and my faceplate, shower head in my bathroom. Well, one, I thought I cut the water off. That didn't happen. So when I pulled the valve out to swap the valves out, guess what? Hot water started going everywhere. I flooded my bathroom, but I eventually was able to cut the water off. Two, well, the new spout and the old spout, they didn't really configure together. So I started cutting pipes and everything, tried to do the slip fit, started leaking all over the place, didn't work, went to Lowe's multiple times, could not come up with a resolution. I'm getting frustrated, right? And this is Saturday night. Now we're moving on into Sunday, okay? Well, still not figuring it out. I got so frustrated that I said, you know what? I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back. And my lady was like, you really about to leave right now? I said, yeah, I'm going to go to the cigar lounge. I'm going to blow off some steam because you don't even want to be around me right now. So I came back home and guess what happened? I came up with a solution. The parts and the stuff will be here today and all will be well. But just think about if I was emotional, I would have been, throwing stuff, going off on everybody because I'm frustrated because I put myself in this situation and I can only blame myself. But I came up with a solution to the problem. But in order for me to do that, I had to go through things as a child and as an adult because eventually, yeah, you gotta weather the storm a little bit, but you will come up with that solution in the end. And guess what? She's chilling, she's happy, she ain't tripping, she ain't getting upset with me because I done went off on her because I'm frustrated. No, I was an adult and a man about the situation, and eventually I came up with a solution, all right? Now, this also, like I said before, it builds character, patience. It also builds compassion, kindness, and loyalty, and you will get respect from your peers. Now, it is a refining process for our character or our hearts when we are going through adversity and conflict. So each time we encounter adversity, we have a choice to make. Give into it, become discouraged and angry, or we can choose patience and look at the long-term benefits. I just talked about that. Now, most of the conflicts and adversity we experience is a direct result of our own actions. And this is a very hard pill to swallow for people who do not hold themselves accountable, because it's so easy to blame other people for the things that you go through on a regular basis, but a lot of our problems do stem from us. But a lot of people will not do that. Sometimes it just takes that person like myself to bring other people around me a reality check. Because when anybody brings me any type of issue, I always look at what they did. I'll say, hey, what did you do? Okay, this is what you did. And this is the chain reaction that caused the rest of these events, the domino effect. I always look at the person first. Even with my son, when he has a pitfall, I'll say, hey, what did you do? Or even after the games, I'll say, hey, what did you do well? What did you not do so well at? Where did you fail at? Okay, where are the areas of improvement? And that's a thing that we have to eventually come to grips with. Sometimes I'd say not even sometimes. The majority of times, I would say in 2026, most people point the finger more than anything. You will rarely see on social media people say, I fucked up, especially with women. We know that. They don't hold themselves accountable the majority of the time, but when men do it, that shit is shameful. It is really, really shameful. And men have to start being better men. We have to be stronger. We need to start really associating ourselves with strong guys. We don't want to live in an echo chamber of ideas when all of these ideas that you're getting these ideas from are for weak, pussy ass males. No. Put yourself in a position where you surround yourself with strong men that's going to hold you accountable, but they're going to hold themselves accountable before they hold anybody else. All right. So that's all we got for Tuesday content. We are going to continue chapter 9 because this is a long ass chapter. We'll probably be on this for like at least a month, but I'm looking forward to it because I love talking about, adversity and conflict because we have to deal with that as a man. That's just another day in the office and an experience that we experience on a regular basis. All right. Well, before I leave, I got to plug in my Revita. Get your Revita. Make sure you click the link. Go get your Revita. My affiliate link will be in the description. It works, guys. If you got some thinning hair, if you got some bald spots, I'm telling you, use this on a regular basis, week after week, you will start seeing results. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Peace.
Feel like they tryna box me in, so I keep a small circle around me, so fuck friends, I kept it real out the gate, these other cats can 10, reigning supreme is something that will never end, so now and then, they got me feeling trapped.